Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm Devon and today I'm going to share with you how to make yummy, delicious crepes. This recipe is simple to make and the crepes come out so good. Now this is something that I love to have actually for Mother's Day, and I've showed my family how to make this recipe so that way I could kick back, they can make some delicious crepes for us. I'm going to share it with you so you can share with your loved ones. I've set up a toppings bar for our lovely crepes that we're going to make, and we've got some of the caramel sauce and the whipped cream, some fresh fruit, powdered sugar, and Nutella. You ready? Let's get started. We're going to use 1 cup of all-purpose unbleached flour, and I've leveled off my flour. And how you level off your flour, you just want to use the back of your butter knife and level your flour off so that way it's nice and even and you don't have any extra coming over the top, okay? Next, I put in 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar. Just give it a little stir just to kind of mix the sugar and the flour in there together. And then we're going to put in our eggs. Now we're using 2 eggs. That was 2 large eggs and they were on my counter at room temperature. And you want to put your eggs in at room temperature so that way they mix better in with your crepe batter, okay? And now I'm adding in my milk. Now when it comes to the milk, you can use whole milk or either you can use 2% milk. It's your choice. And so I like to use my wire whisk and just kind of really get in there and mix everything around from the bottom and back up to the top, and then just gently go around in a circle just like I'm doing. And we're going to be putting our milk in stages because we're going to go from what traditionally would look like a pancake batter consistency to a crepe consistency, and that's going to be with the thinning of the milk. Now the milk, we're going to be doing 1 cup of milk. However, I've used up to 1.5 cups, and so between that 1 cup and that 1.5 cups is really going to be based on if my batter has the consistency and look that we're looking for. And I'm going to show you what you're going to be looking for with your batter. So we're mixing all around. We've almost put in 1 cup of milk. And so far with putting in that 1 cup of milk, our batter is thick. You see the thickness of our batter? And we also have those different still like chunks of flour, those pockets of flour. And we're going to keep on mixing and adding in our milk until our batter is the consistency of heavy cream. And if you're not familiar with what heavy cream looks like or heavy whipping cream, think of like melted ice cream. Okay, and so you want it to have that feel and that look of like having a melted ice cream, okay? And you want to whip it. You see how I'm whipping it and just kind of aerating it a little bit. And then when I picked up my whisk, you see it just kind of like drizzled. Now we're going to go in and add in our melted butter, and I'm using salted butter. And the reason why I'm using salted butter is because we're not adding any salt to our crepe batter. And so this helps to balance out that little bit of sugar that we're using, as well as those sweet toppings that we're going to have when we build our crepes. Okay, so now we're done with our batter. I've got a skillet on the stove and it's warming. And now we're going to put in our butter. And so our first crepe is always the tricky one. And so with the first crepe, I'm using my butter. And my butter, I'm using 1 tablespoon of butter. I have my flame set on medium. Make sure that your butter has melted, is fully melted, and I'm using a measuring of 1/4 cup, but you do not want to use more than 1/3 cup when you're measuring out your crepe batter to put into your pan, okay? And then you see what I did there. Once I had the crepe batter in my pan, I took the pan off the fire and I rotated it, okay? And the object, of course, is to make a full circle, but if you don't make a full circle, it's okay. The crepes are going to taste great and your family is going to love it. And then you're going to love it when they make it for you for Mother's Day. And so what you want to look for with the crepe is that around the edges of your crepe, they'll start to set. And when I say they start to set is the crepes around the edges will start to become like dried out. It looks like the edges like set. They get a little bit dried out around the edges, and that's when you know your crepe is almost ready to flip. Go right underneath and you flip it. Now with crepes, you only flip them once. Okay, you don't flip them back and forth, you only flip your crepes once, and that keeps them from getting too hard, or that way they don't roll. So if you're flipping your crepe back and forth, what's going to happen is your crepe is going to get too brittle and you won't be able to roll it for your toppings, and also when you're filling your crepe, you won't be able to roll it, it'll be too brittle. Okay, and so I've gone on and I've put my next drop of crepe batter, and you see what I was talking about, how that first one and now the second one, the pan is a little bit more seasoned with the butter. I didn't add any new butter to my pan. I just went off that residual butter that was already in the pan, and I go on and I just start making my crepes, and you see that, and I add more batter just like that, and then you want to rotate your pan back and forth, and when you rotate it, you're going to make that circle all the way around. And again, I was only using 1/4 of a cup of that batter. You see you have little bubbles right there, and then I flip it, okay, and then I just let it cook just so, maybe slightly golden brown around the edges or in the middle, and it doesn't take long. The crepe usually will cook in about 1 minute or less, okay, because it's so thin, so it doesn't take long to cook it. And I keep my flame on medium. And you see that? You see how it is? The crepe is nice and done. It's got a little bit around the edges that it's browned. And now we're ready to start to build our crepes. Now our crepe batter will make 12 crepes. You can also half the recipe if you're making it for just a few people. Also, if you're making your crepes and you have batter left, you can refrigerate it, and I've refrigerated my crepe batter up to 2 days in the refrigerator. Just took it out, mixed it around, and went on and made up some more crepes. Now I am building mine with some Nutella, but crepes, because you can make them however you like, and that is just such the beauty of it. I'm just going to put some Nutella in mine. I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to go on and add the rest of my toppings. Comment down below and let me know, how do you like your crepes? What are your favorite toppings for your crepes? Now, if you wanted to make a savory crepe, you would still use the same crepe batter. And what you would do is, in your pan, after you flipped your crepe, you would go on and add some cheese and some ham. And I like to use diced up ham that's already cooked and been sauteed, like cubed ham. And then also with the cheese, I would suggest Gruyere. Gruyere cheese is great in crepes. And go on and add your cheese and your diced ham, fold it over, and just let it melt slightly, and there you have your savory crepe. Today my family's been making our nice sweet crepes. I'm going to finish topping off my crepe with some whipped cream, and that is it. Well, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and whether you are trying this crepe recipe for Mother's Day or whether it's for a breakfast or a brunch, I hope you give this recipe a try. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Go on and hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 200 subscribers, and I am so excited to share this journey with you. Now remember, it is always good when Devon is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.